Hi, I'm Rory and I can't play fighting games. Hi, I'm Rory and I've played fighting games for over 1,000 hours. You know fighting games. Two players using punches, kicks and whatever else they can get their hands on to make this bar go up and this bar go down. These games have a reputation of being obtuse for new players, but I'm not one of those players. When I say I can't do something that I've spent over 70 days doing, I'm not being self-deprecating about my own lack of skill. I wouldn't say I'm good at fighting games, but I'm kind of competent at some of them. I've got over the initial barrier, and I can do things like control my character, and read the unholy scripture that is button notation. I actually like the difficult stuff in these games. There's something relaxing to me about overcoming brutally difficult challenges in games. Whether it's a room in Celeste, a boss in Sekiro, or a combo in a fighting game, nothing's able to distract me from our capitalist hellscape, like a game where I learn to press buttons in an arbitrarily difficult order. The room I'm in, the buttons I'm pressing, and the hands I'm moving fade into the background as the game becomes a meditative experience. Like a seance, except I've got a controller instead of candles, and my inner insecurities instead of some dead people. And whether I land that combo, or climb that mountain, or kill that monkey, I know that it was my own improvement that got me there. Most of my time invested into any fighting game isn't spent on the battlefield in single combat with my adversary. It's spent alone in the training room, or playing the game with inhuman precision using a TAS. Almost any fighting game has a training room, and it removes the fight from the game, and allows you to just practice and experiment and see what cool stuff you can do with the character's toolset. TAS, or Tool Assistance, offers an even greater deal of freedom by letting you slow the game down or play it frame by frame. And in a way, the end result of a training mode session is more satisfying than a FromSoft boss or a Celeste level, because instead of just unlocking more game to play or more bosses to beat, you have this cool sequence of moves that you've either created yourself or learnt from someone else, and you can put them in the background of your YouTube video. Playing matches in these games feels almost pointless to me in comparison, which is part of why I spend so little time doing it. But I guess I'll get to the point. The main reason why I can't play fighting games is because I'm terrified of other people. We need a non-fighting game for this next bit, so Apex Legends? When a fight happens in Apex, both players just sort of stand far away from each other or run around close to each other and do some shooting and then one of them dies. They might do an emote or a funny finisher, but that's really all the personality they're gonna get. You can't tell where the opponent's aiming or any specific actions they're doing because of the small size on your screen and the more generalised animations used for other characters when compared to the player character. Unlike how in a fighting game, each player is looking at exactly the same screen and each character is roughly the same size, so you see the same amount of information about your opponent's character as they see. Fighting game characters generally have a wide move list of distinct looking moves and will have animations for everything the player does. If you paid an unhealthy amount of attention, you could track each individual input from your opponent. The act of play opens a window of communication between players, although the size and the detail of this window can vary depending on the tools available to its users. The toolset given to you by the designers of a fighting game seems optimised to widen that window and allow players to see more of each other through their communication using these tools. Although most players are communicating some variant of haha silly goofy funny, what the hell are you doing, or varying degrees of fuck you. One of the greatest strengths in fighting games is allowing players to express themselves to their opponents. But what if I don't want the scary internet person to look through the game and see me? The clarity of communication in fighting games is so different to what I've experienced in other genres that it makes me feel self-conscious when I play them. Instead of being able to chill out and see my gradual improvement, or just mess about and shoot some people, I'm constantly aware of how I need to avoid making a mistake because I feel like I'm being watched. And if I mess up it just feels embarrassing, like my opponents laughing at me or thinking that playing me is a mistake. In Apex, there are 57 opponents spread across a huge map, whereas in a fighting game, there's one opponent, giving you their full, undivided attention. It feels personal, like I need to focus constantly in order to give a good impression. And it feels exhausting, in a way no other games are. Originally this video was going to be a bit longer, but it was going to end here. I mean, I brought up a question in the title and then I answered it. But then when it came to actually writing the script, I realised, wait, why do I care so much about being bad at a video game? So I kept writing, and this is the results of that. I always try to be completely prepared before I go online in a fighting game. I look up guides, what all of my moves do, learn how to move around, and learn a bunch of different combos, all before I play any matches. I've spent hours staring at this script, making minimal wording changes or moving sentences around, all before I start to record and edit. When I was planning this video, I had this perception that failing by myself was acceptable and helpful to learn from, but that I needed to make sure I never failed in front of others. Being prepared is generally a good thing, but I think the fear of how other people will see me is stopping me from doing anything before I'm as prepared as I can possibly be, avoiding the discomfort of failure through preparing excessively. I'm either waiting for a perfect time which will never come, or I'm trying to get as good as I can at making video essays or playing fighting games without actually playing the matches or making the videos. I think a better answer to the title would probably be, I can't play fighting games because the way they're designed exacerbates a larger issue I have with being perceived. Oh god, why did I have to write a whole video essay to realise I care what other people think about me? I need to get better at telling when I can afford to fail at something, and if it's something I want to improve at, like making an entertaining video or playing a fighting game, I need to put a lot of effort in and fail as triumphantly as possible. Let me know how well I did on that one down in the comments. I haven't forgotten about you. You've probably got things to be failing at as well. Get on with that after the video, I dare you. So if you'll excuse me, I'm off to play a few ranked games. And when I'm down 0 to 3, I'll make sure to tell my opponent that I'm winning.